This broadcast is live. Take a look at that right there. Folks, we'll be right with you. Well, there you are. Welcome to another LifterLMS pre-sales call. I am Kurt von Ahnen. Magic Will Middleton is with me. We'll be here for the next hour or so. And we're here to help you with getting started with getting a course creator thing going, talking technical, strategy, just hanging out. If you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, jump into the comments and tell us where you're calling from, where you're joining us, and maybe let us know if you're already a Lifter user or not, because we end up having a lot of conversations in here. Any comments are welcome.
Awesome. We're streaming to Twitch, so I don't know if I'd say any comments are welcome, but
oh yeah, hey, keep it clean.
Let's see. So this person left a comment on my YouTube channel I responded to as well. Let me drop this comment from YouTube, and we'll answer this first. Let's see, there it is, pull it up on screen. So this was on a video about WooCommerce for a course website, how to sell courses using WooCommerce. And so the question is, thanks for the video. I was wondering, what's the difference between installing the WooCommerce integration and buying the LifterLMS bundle? So I guess the answer to that question is that the WooCommerce integration comes in the LifterLMS Earth bundle and also the Universe bundle and Infinity bundle. So any bundle you purchase will have the WooCommerce extension, or you could purchase it individually for currently $120 a year on the store. So it's available as an individual add-on, but that one is also included in every bundle. So whatever purchase you want to make there will include WooCommerce.
Yeah, so when you say, like, what's the difference? The difference is you can either get it by itself or you can get it with some other groovy tools.
Absolutely.
I'm all about groovy tools. We should say groovy whenever possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Groovy.
Thank you for free education. Another comment on the YouTube channel. Oh, that's awesome. I'll just heart that one.
Speaking of free education, and I'm gonna say it like I want to say it like in a positive way. Like, I feel like when we're answering support tickets, someone's like, well, how do I get extra support? Or who's going to show me how to build that? Or I need more help with this. It's like LifterLMS has this like awesome network of experts, right? So we have a thing called experts. So you can go to our lifterlms.com/experts link, and you can select from a whole just directory of experts that you could hire out to or get training from or delegate products to, projects, mini projects, macro projects, whatever you want. We also connect to Codable. And then we're one of the only plugin companies that I know of, Will, that does like these lives on a regular basis where we guide people and help people. And, how do I move this header over, 6 pixels? How do I, whatever. If we can do it, we'll show you right on the live. But we don't have like a one-on-one coaching education system for folks, right? So it's not like you can't buy the plugin and then get 5 hours of free training out of it. But we do offer the LifterLMS Academy, and I've been promoting that a lot lately. So we seem to have a lot of new folks coming into the market that might not be familiar with how WordPress works right out of the box or how some of these tools integrate together. And I just wanted to say it publicly, on this live, that you're not all by yourself. I mean, there are courses that you can take. We do have experts to refer to. And if you want to hire something out, you could hire out to Codable or one of those experts as well.
Absolutely. The more I learn about WordPress and just fundamentally how it works, doing interview shows, doing client work, answering questions in chat or whatever, it's really interesting to see how WordPress abstracts into just general business practices. Like, I was on a podcast episode earlier today with Matt from SendWP, and we were talking about like email, like SendWP is an email service that you can connect to your website to make sure your emails don't go to spam or that they even get delivered in the first place. And I learned a lot about like domain reputation, domain authority, and building like trust and credibility with inbox providers like Gmail, Yahoo, and those sort of services. And there's a lot that goes into the website stuff under the hood. When you do sign up for a service like Kajabi or Udemy or whatever, you're not thinking about these underlying services. But within any kind of WordPress environment, there's really a lot of different components to a website. There's delivering the HTML, PHP, JavaScript content that populates the website on your screen, but then there's other, that's like what website hosting usually is, but the server is also performing other functions, like maybe embedding a video player on the website. So you'd want to host with Vimeo or Wisty or YouTube to embed the video. Or email is another one of those functions. The server sending emails is another function that is going on in the background that's frequently undersupported by website hosts. Their mailers aren't usually configured to work well with the way WordPress wants to be sending email. Because serving web content and email are two different services. So there was a question from Facebook. Quick question: will changing my WordPress admin login address impact on account logins for my courses? Currently getting lots of bots trying to log in. I don't think I've ever changed the WordPress admin login address. I would just implement like a firewall or something, and usually your website host should help prevent that. But if you're on like a website host that doesn't offer like firewall and spam protection, I don't know. I don't think it would change anything on the login page. It doesn't use the WP admin at all. But I don't really have any experience with that. Kurt, have you ever tried to change the admin URL for login?
I haven't tried to change the admin URL. I'm trying to think. No, I've never tried to change the URL. Okay. To your point, there are security things that your host can help you provide, but no, I've seen people use maybe it's not WordPress per se, maybe it's a Laravel build that I saw. They didn't use WP admin as their login. They used something like user login.php or something like that. It was a weird. I remember working on that website for them and thinking, well, that's a weird login screen, but it was a custom site built in Laravel on top of WordPress or something like that.
Yeah. Change it too. And it's interesting, WordPress is like, it's a bunch of PHP code referencing other parts of the website. So you could just link up to a user login PHP page and then build your own function to log in, as long as it ties into the WordPress login. But I don't know why you'd want to do that. Like, as if you're trying to prevent spam, it's almost like a strange circumstance where you're on like a website host that doesn't support login, or doesn't support like blocking login DDoS attacks and stuff, where you have to implement some kind of solution in order to try to prevent your page from being attacked. Since it's mostly server level stuff, it's a little bit odd to have to work with that. I would just say, who's your web host? And maybe there's like malware on the website. Like, yeah, there's a lot of more underlying issues to that question that I would probably address instead.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, it's almost like, well, what made you aware of it? Like, how did you know bots were trying to log in? It's kind of like what brought that to your attention? Is it a spike in web hits? Is it a spike in, something else? I don't know. Unless, of course, they're trying to log in with your email and figure out your password, and you're getting a bunch of, requests for, password reset. That would be a little alarming. But no. For the most part, I just depend on my host to take care of me.
Right. Cool. Write that one out. Let me see if I have any other questions. The 50% off sale, I think, ends today. Today's the last day of that. So if you pick up the LifterLMS 3 years for the price of 2 bundles, those are like 3 years of the Infinity bundle for the price of 2. But if you get 50% off, it's really 3 years for the price of 1, which was interesting. I talked to Chris. I'm like, are you sure you want to allow this coupon on these products? Because then it's 3 years for the price of 1. And he's like, yep, that's fine. Promote it. I'm like, okay. So 3 years for the price of 1 on any of those bundles, Earth Bundle, Universe, or Infinity. That's a pretty good deal. 3 years for the price of 1 is like, you can either just buy a subscription or buy 3 years for the price of 1. Like
It's the deal.
yeah, it's a good deal. Um, let's see, let me take now this comment. Have you seen?
So
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask how you did a thing with SendWP today. You already mentioned that. What were a couple of your takeaways? Because I used to use SendWP back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was understanding on a deeper level, like how the email setup in WordPress works. We had some people on the stream asking questions about, WP Mail SMTP is another popular one where you'll install this WP Mail SMTP free plugin and you'll connect it to a sending service like Outlook or Gmail or SendGrid or something like that. And so it's like a two-step process of installing the free plugin, setting up your email sending service, and connecting the two, and doing the authentication and everything. But with SendWP, it's one service that would cover both. You buy the plugin, install it on your website, and then it uses an API to route emails through their server. So it's really useful if either your domain has bad domain authority, like the IP address. When you type a domain into a browser like LifterLMS.com, it just transfers it into an IP address. And because humans have a harder time remembering the series of numbers, so if you just say LifterLMS.com, it's easier to remember. And so it translates to the IP address. And if that IP address has bad domain reputation for some reason, your emails, when that domain tries to send an email, it might have an issue. But it could also be an issue on a server level. When you host on a web server, that server also has an IP address, which is pointed to from your domain. Like you access the domain IP, the registrar will point you over to the server. That's your name, records, and everything you set up in your domain to point to the server. The server could also have a bad IP address because someone who was on that server before you renting space to host their website might have been spamming people's inboxes. That server, if it's a shared server, could actively be used for that right now. And so Google, Yahoo, and these other companies that have inbox services will write down that IP address for that server that was abused or being used to abuse email inboxes. And then it'll store that. And so now that you're on that server hosting your web content, you're going to have issues coming through. So those are two possible reasons your emails wouldn't come through. And a third reason might be that your server isn't even configured properly to work with the way that the PHP mailer in WordPress wants to work. So there's so many different reasons that your emails could not be making it into the inbox. And so having that service like WP Mail, or not WP Mail, SendWP, allows you to use their domain authority because the email comes from SendWP's server. So they have a positive reputation because part of their business is making sure their emails come through. So there's a lot of businesses that are validating and sending legitimate emails through SendWP. So it can actually bolster your ability to get into the inbox. And another consideration would be if you just purchased your domain recently in the last month or so, there's no reputation built up. So if an inbox provider doesn't want to accept emails from somebody who doesn't have any reputation built up, then that might also just emails might not make it to the inbox. So there's so many. What I took away really was all those different reasons that an email might not make it to your inbox, and how the SendWP service addresses each of those issues by sending it through their server.
Yeah. I've had the Mañana no Mas URL now for 15 years, and I still have clients that'll tell me, "Oh, it went to spam. It went to spam. It went to spam." Sometimes you just can't. Whenever you have a unique URL, sometimes it's just really difficult to get in there.
Yeah, and those are all based on the rules because, like I learned, Gmail and other mail inbox providers, they have servers that run hundreds of tests on emails that will determine if it's spam or not. And that service is determined by Google or whatever the inbox provider is the one who's going to determine where they send the email. Do they put it in the inbox? Do they put it in the trash? Do they put it in the spam folder? And it relates to the tests that they run that on their own server to protect their users and everything. And so sometimes you just can't avoid going to spam on certain inbox providers because that inbox provider has certain rules set up. So that's where you would need to ask your customers to whitelist your domain, because then the rule would be in place that would supersede, that would say if it's from this address, let it through to the inbox, and it would supersede the automatic rules that are sending it to spam. So even if you do everything right, the inbox provider might say, nope, this is going to go to spam.
Yeah, Hotmail used to be really difficult. Of course, Hotmail's gone now. It's like having an AOL email address.
Yeah, yeah. I also think one or two people with Hotmail addresses still. Let me type out this answer here to Alistair about the admin login and changing it. Um, so yeah, changing the admin URL wouldn't affect the dashboard, but it would be worth it if you want to change that to make sure it doesn't conflict with anything else.
And then, well, not for nothing, I don't see you moving anymore. So I don't know if your internet is weak, but if you drop, don't worry, I won't leave the room.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Could be my internet, but my countdown timer is still counting, so I think I'm good.
Oh yeah. I think should be good too. Yeah, we don't have a huge crowd today. I sent out the registration email only about 30 minutes in advance, but we will be live again tomorrow. I'm scrolling through Facebook looking at the post from Chris. Use coupon code LIFTER50 and there's a video of the beach. Okay, he jumps into frame. Facebook has a weird user interface where it really tries to force your audio to play. Like if you click play on a video, it'll play audio automatically, and then also if you click into the video, it'll pull up the video page and play automatically. But I guess, Kurt, have you built any interesting LMS sites lately, or run into any interesting LMS problems or questions?
I would say lately I haven't seen anything incredibly interesting. I've been really slow, to be honest with you. I haven't had a lot of personal work to do. I've had some maintenance and stuff. No, the biggest thing I run into now is everybody wants to customize everything. Like, I want to put an extra line of content on my thumbnail to my course catalog, or I want to do, people are looking to modify and change everything, and it's fun. I'm back. Am I still there?
Yep, we got your audio now. Yep.
Okay. But they usually don't start out with, "Oh, this is so awesome. I can't believe how good this is out of the box." It's always like, "I can't believe there's not room for me to put this line of text in on my course catalog.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable." And then it's like, I don't know why people are asking for this all of a sudden, but there's been a lot of just a lot of small requests like that.
Yeah. And maybe I'll pull up a demo site and start customizing some things. The block editor has a lot of cool options coming into it in 6.3 that I haven't really fully explored. I still have to produce a video from 6.2 that I recorded. It's almost completed being edited. I just need to blur out some license keys and stuff. Let me pull up the site. But have you seen that loop creator thing where you can create like a custom catalog a little bit? It's not super advanced, but you can create a few custom items.
I don't think so.
Let me share my screen once it comes up. There it goes. Window. Share.
So far, it just looks like the Kurt and Will show just hanging out.
Yeah. The stream doesn't always show us everyone intending, which is strange, but yeah, not too many people today. So if I wanted to create a loop of just my courses, got Automator WP here that I was testing. Didn't do that. Courses. Let me add another course. Test 2. So I'm just creating a couple of sample courses in order to create a loop. So if I go to my pages, I could add a custom course catalog. Then I would put in like a query loop, and then I could choose a template, but I think I'll start from scratch. I would want image, date, title, excerpt, and then I could do a couple columns. In post template, I think we can. Post type would be course. So I got my test and test 2. Just play around with this a little bit. Taxonomy is all those keywords. I thought I could do columns somewhere. Blocks. Pagination, no results. So let me make sure I can do columns real quick.
Aye, aye, aye.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm hanging out. I'm watching. I'm learning something. Shh.
I'll have to figure out how to do the column setup. But basically, you can put in other items here in the post template. So if I wanted to include, I don't know, something, what would I include? Probably like you could do the categories, or I know like if you're using something dynamic, you could like, I know Cadence, I think Cadence Box Pro has some dynamic stuff, and Spectre probably does too, where you can pull in.
Pull in like the excerpt.
Yeah. Like the excerpt. No excerpt found. Let me go back to my query loop, move my paragraph. So if we put the excerpt there, that'll be included in both. But then I also wanted to see if I could do columns in any way. Appearance. Nope, that's text. Link. Okay, yeah. Inner blocks is coming with. I guess. Oh, is this grid view? Okay, grid view. That's it. So it's not called columns. It's list view versus grid view. Perfect. So we got my custom course catalog. View my page, and then I'll jump back out to the courses area. And if I put an excerpt on my courses, oh, there's the excerpt, I think, right? Yeah, this is the excerpt. So if I go to courses and I were to define an excerpt on like test 2, it's going to take the default information it defines, but for the excerpt, I can also define it. Usually, if I excerpt one of my options, custom fields. I wonder, it might not support the excerpt block, but if you did have custom fields, that might work. I thought this one supported the excerpt block. Maybe it doesn't. Post attributes, though. Interesting. So I guess it would just take the first area of text. So you say this is the description of course 2, and I think that should pop up. Yeah, okay. And so it's just going to read the text as it appears on the page.
I just had a throwback. I just had an idea that you could put in there. You could do remember the short code to show the reviews.
Oh yeah, we could try that. That'd be interesting. So what would I do for that? I would have to leave a review on the course, enable reviews, display reviews. So then we would view the course, and then I should be able to leave a review on this course.
The bomb.
Of course.
You dropped a bomb on me, baby. You dropped a bomb on me.
So then we need to go to LifterLMS shortcode. LifterLMS shortcodes. Grab the review shortcode. And then I'll take the, I don't think I need the course ID. Let's try it. I've never put this shortcode in a query loop block, so we'll see if this works. Query loop, this would be a part of my post template. I want to put a shortcode.
Do you need the little tail bracket? There you go.
Let's see if this works. I don't know if this works. We'll see. It does. This course doesn't have any sections. Oh, it does. Okay, so then what we would do is move the reviews. You'd have to remove the reviews to the top in the course. Can you do that? I guess it's the reviews would show up by default on the bottom, I think. So if we were to view the course page, it's a great course. Okay, so it's not formatted perfectly. I'm lost. Where's that? So this is the description of course 2. It's got course information, author information. I wonder what we could do to what others have said. This is a great course. I think the easiest way might be a custom field and then highlighting that custom field. I'll keep digging around, see if there's any blocks we could use. Huh. I wonder if you can't really automatically show some people want to have like a buy now button on the course catalog page, and this would not work currently because this would be the same button that appears in both boxes. But I wonder if you just leave it blank, does it select anything? No, it doesn't. So like, I'm trying to think through how would you do this. You could have a button with a custom link, which would be using custom fields. I'm trying to see how far we could go with this without using custom fields. I guess, Kurt, have you worked with custom fields where you would use advanced custom fields or another plugin to define some fields on your course, and then you could just type whatever you want in the field and then dynamically pull it in?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's something I did like a lot of work with in Elementor, and you can do in the WordPress editor, but you have to have something that supports dynamic content. Like Elementor Pro is what supports dynamic content, but then like the way WordPress is going with these templates and template parts is like that's dynamic content in and of itself. So I'm trying to figure out if we were to, I think I'm on a full site editor theme. If we maybe made like a pattern, if we made a custom pattern, how would we do this? So manage my template parts. We've got our header, footer, add a purchase button for catalog page. Great. So this is the purchase button for the catalog page. If I put like a button,
oh yeah,
URL. Yeah, so I can't type a dynamic URL in here. Yeah, so unfortunately that doesn't support dynamic content. If we have an access plan button, this asks you to select a certain plan. This is just like a glorified shortcode because the shortcode lets you select a button ID, access plan button ID. So the block, it does the exact same thing where it's saying, okay, here's the code, basically the short code to populate an access plan button. And then here's where you would select the ID of the plan. We just don't see it happening in the user interface like we do with the short. But we're still going to get the, we should still get the ID of the access plan. Like if we inspect this element, we should still have drop downs that, yeah, option value 39 is the test access plan. So it's still basically just populating the short code. And so if we were to, yeah, because in LifterLMS, this was an interesting integration that came out from LifterLMS a while ago. It was like, or from Tangible Plugins, LifterLMS plus Elementor. It had an option to have a buy now button on the catalog page. But what it did was it just selected the first access plan on your course list. So whatever the first one was, it would link to that one. And I believe they wrote custom code in order to accommodate that feature of find the first access plan and then use that ID. So that was like an interesting workaround. I'm still kind of racking my brain about how we could do this. I wonder if we can create our custom template, but it doesn't support HTML content. Dynamic content, WordPress. The music playing? Oh, it is. It's just kind of in the background. Creating dynamic blogs. Okay.
You switch to night driving, and it's so calming.
Yeah, it's like it's a good vibe for the learning the WordPress editor. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm doing some research in another tab. I don't see anything that talks about supporting dynamic content without like code. Yeah, or like a custom plugin.
Well, now you got something to take to Contributor Day at WordCamp US.
Yeah, I got this. Let me Slack you a picture of this. I got this crazy pop-up. You know, an exit intent pop-up where you go to leave a website and it has a little pop-up that says, "No, don't go away. We have a sale for you," or something.
Yeah.
This is the pop-up. Send it to you here in Slack that I got on this website about dynamic content when I left. Should take a second to come through.
Never give up.
Right, that's definitely eye-catching. It's like, what website am I on? I could probably find some good support tickets as well to dive into. This is a good question. Which bundle includes the SkyPilot theme, and how do I connect to the demo? I guess, Kurt, do you want to talk through like the SkyPilot pricing and bundle and the LifterLMS trial site, and I'll respond to this email?
Yeah. I'm going to bounce over to the pricing tab on LifterLMS just so I don't screw it up. But it looks like the SkyPilot comes in our Universe bundle. So Universe and Infinity bundles would have SkyPilot. So the Earth bundle and obviously our free core plugin would be the two options that do not include the SkyPilot theme. But then the SkyPilot theme is available by itself. And let me just double check how much that is by itself.
Oh, that one should be $120 a year.
It's $120? Yeah, $120 per year to just get SkyPilot by itself. So if you had the free core plugin and you weren't going to worry about the marketing or connecting to a CRM or having a payment gateway, say you were making just an internal learning site for a company, corporation, and you wanted to use the SkyPilot theme, then that would just be the $120 per year, and you'd have that ready to go. But as soon as you jump up to the Universe bundle, That gives you the ability to play around on up to 5 active sites if you want. Some people don't see the need for the 5 sites, but we give them to you. They're yours to use, right? So you can use it on up to 5 active sites. You have unlimited support for 2 users, which is cool. So if you're working in tandem with somebody, and then you get the core plugin, the SkyPilot theme, you get the e-commerce add-ons. So that's that WooCommerce that Will was talking about earlier, where he said each of our bundles came with WooCommerce. But we also have PayPal, Stripe, and Authorize.net. And then there's the email marketing and CRM add-ons that come with the Universe bundle, like connecting to MailChimp, things like that. And form integrations, like I'm a WP Form user. Some people are Formidable Forms, some people are Gravity Forms. Those integrations come with the Universe bundle. And then the weekly mastermind and private Facebook group. That is interesting. The reason I say it's interesting is because we used to just do the weekly mastermind call just for Infinity users only. And then we found over time, hey, we could probably add more value to more people if we open that up and let Universe bundle customers come into that weekly mastermind call as well. And it's a really good experience because it puts you in the same, interactive Zoom kind of interface where you can be face-to-face with peer users and peer-to-peer learning, and a lot of cool ideas get shared within that space. So it's a really cool thing to get access to. So that's kind of a long way to talk about how to get the SkyPilot theme. But yeah, to get the SkyPilot theme, it's $120 or anything over the Universe bundle. Universe and above.
Cool.
Now, we should probably just mention it. The SkyPilot theme, it's a WordPress theme. It is a full site editing compatible WordPress theme. So if you're on WordPress 6.2, 6.3, SkyPilot's going to work in there for you. That's not a problem. But then we've had people question, like, well, since it's a full site editing theme, can you use Divi? Can you use, Elementor? Can you use Maxi Blocks? Can you use Beaver Builder? And the answer is yes. Like yes, all the way around. When you use a theme and then you incorporate the use of a page builder, the page builder will supersede the theme in most cases, like kind of like the way Will was showing you interactive dynamic content through Elementor, things like that. Like when you hear that, don't think that the use of SkyPilot negates you from using those tools. You can still use those tools with SkyPilot.
Right, but it will override them a little bit, so there is some balance work to do with that. Let's try to find a question around the demo site. I'll delete that thread, come back over here. See what this email's about.
Demo site. You get access for 30 days to a fully populated demo site. We host it for you, so you don't have to worry about finding hosting on your host or anything like that. And it's $1 for the 30 days access to it. The way to do that is just to go to that link right there, lifterlms.com/try, lifterlms.com/try, and $1 gets you 30 days. But if you're thinking about making a purchase and it's an equitable purchase, like if it's the Universe or the Infinity bundle or any of those, you might want to make that decision before 30 days is up. You might want to make that decision today, because we have that Lifter 50 coupon that's expiring today, and that's a good enough deal that you'd want to jump off the cliff and make that decision today rather than wait.
Right. Let's see what the second question is about. And yeah, you can always upgrade, like Kurt said, so you can always like if you decide that you want to change those later, upgrade, downgrade, you can do that. Let's see.
And while we're kind of in limbo, I'm just going to throw this link up on the screen, lifterlms.com/agency, /agency. It's kind of a list of other agencies that we've begun to assemble, and we want to be able to reach out to people that run agencies. And it could be a solopreneur, a team of people, whatever. If you're making websites for other people and LifterLMS is a possible tool or a possible like arrow in your quiver that you use as an agency, we'd like to have you on that list. We do separate live calls, kind of similar to this, but we do some separate live calls. We talk about agency type issues, other tools that we use in conjunction or integrated with LifterLMS. And we, just talk about business sometimes and talk about, what are the advantages or disadvantages of chasing that, that vertical space in WordPress as far as having an e-learning product. So if you're into making websites for others, I would really encourage you to join the /agency list.
Absolutely. And you run like calls for the agency list, right?
Yeah, live calls similar to this. I'm still using Zoom as the interface because that way, it's kind of a closed environment. I'm not streaming it at this point. I think I streamed the first one, but I didn't stream others. And it's, realistically, just we can do screen shares. Chris Lassiter is one of those guys real active on our Facebook page. He joined the call, went over. He uses LifterLMS in a mobile application, and he was showing us how his mobile application works, what the screen looks like on his phone, all that kind of stuff. It was really kind of cool because I think if we're just honest with each other, there's not too many people out there that are actively building, these sites for a mobile interface in that way. So it's kind of cool to see, that happening and see it work as well as it did. I don't know, Will, what's happening today?
Yeah, one thing I'm seeing is there's a billing twice thing happening again. We talked about this, I think, last week. Well, right now, I guess we're running a LifterLMS pre-sales question call. I'm going through the Help Scout inbox right now, just answering any questions live. But if you have any questions about LifterLMS, feel free to drop them in the chat. It's a little bit of a light day for us here. We have about 15 minutes left.
You were just saying something about billing twice. Is that like a customer's website billing its customers twice?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where their students are getting double billed. And I think we talked about this last week, where that can happen if you have a staging website that's not in staging mode. And so if you were to create a copy of your website and not turn off recurring payments, that kind of thing can happen.
So many people have a hard time getting to where their website starts charging people. And then all of a sudden you got a website that's charging people twice.
Yeah.
The revenue looks good on Tuesday, but it ain't such a good day on Thursday.
Right. My computer's memory too. I don't know what's been going on. I have so many tabs open, I guess. Oh, I have Canva open. That's what it is. I've noticed that Canva uses a lot of memory.
So Canva in the browser or Canva as the application? Because I have Canva, the application, and when you go to open up Canva, the application in a PC, it's like, and Slack does this too for me. Like I'll double click Slack and it'll be like, okay, when's it gonna open? And Canva, it's like, I might as well go make a cup of coffee and wait for this to open up.
Right, yeah. I guess it's accessing probably so many media files, and I don't know what it's doing. If it's like pinging like the web app or something and pulling a bunch of data for your designs. I'm not even sure what it's doing, but I just closed it out and my speed got a little better there.
Yeah. I noticed your video's been real glitchy today.
Yeah, if I can't open it, that might be what it is. See if my memory's maxed out in another way. As long as I'll leave StreamYard as its own window, then we'll just delete a bunch of these tabs.
Well, you normally only have 50 or 60 tabs. That's weird.
Yeah. Let's see, I'm trying to think, do I need any of these tabs? I would like to keep this one open. Then
I'm a Canva user. You're a Canva user. Pardon me. I also use videos. You and I have also played with Imagine, right? With the AI type imagery. Are you starting to see that there's a lot of bleed over in a lot of these tools now? Because it seems like as Canva added the AI kind of assistance tool, right? And so I've been playing around with that a little bit, but it's like, well, if I'm using Canva for AI image creation, I really don't need Imagine, or I really don't need, these other tools. And I just feel like everybody's trying to come to market right now with these AI tools, and so many of them do the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that like Photoshop has something too that expands the photo. Photoshop's is the one that I think is the best, where you can like drag outside of the frame and it'll like make up whatever's there. And
Yeah.
then Imagen is really good for making faces, like making up unique cartoons. I don't know. Have you used Canva's like AI for unique cartoons, or has it just been?
No, I've done it, yeah.
Okay.
And I like Imagine's output better. Like
Yeah.
I think it's more creative, but I think they're all starting to catch up to each other. It's kind of like do you want to use Bard or do you want to use Chat GPT? You know, because in that realm of AI, I think they do a lot of the similar things.
Yeah, I know. My therapist, he's like an older gentleman, is tells me every time about AI and like what he's doing with it and how he's like made friends with the AI. And it's funny, like or like uses it to help generate book text and stuff. It's super useful, and it's interesting how like um, things do keep changing. Like we can now like generate images and generate and text and stuff. And so there was that whole discussion about when AI comes along, it'll change everything, or things are going to start to change very quickly. And so I haven't seen it like a great WordPress product use AI yet. I tried to install the Bertha AI thing, and my website just threw an error message, and I didn't care to figure out what the conflict was. So I just threw that project away. Uh, but it's like it's interesting to see the advancements happen as we're kind of on the cutting edge. Like, what does it mean when things are going to change quickly? Well, it means like every 6 months or so, some new interesting way to use it comes out. Like it was text generation, and then like the research was people are breaking the language models and stuff, and then next it was the image generation. And so I wonder what the next. And then now there's video generation, where you can generate like videos of AI generated humans talking. But I wonder what like the next few things are going to be that. Or like even building a website with AI, like where you give it a description of what your website's about, and then it uses WordPress to just build it out for you.
Well, that's going to be with WP Zip coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you at on the list? You signed up on the list for that, right?
I don't know. I Hostinger had a thing at WordCamp Athens about that when you sign up for their hosting package. I don't know if it used WordPress though. It might have been some other generation software, but yeah. So that was WP Zip.
Yeah, WP Zip. So I have I was trying to look at something. I have I'm 8,060 on the list. And
Zip WP.
I was like, wow, I'm usually quicker than this at getting on people's lists.
It's a Zip WP from Brainstorm Force.
Yeah, maybe it is Zip WP. It's either WP Zip or Zip WP. And it just said to join the list, right? And so
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm not used to being at the bottom of the rung.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, so I just signed up 21,335, 21,000. But then every friend you refer, I don't really care if I get access to this. I can use AI to generate a website without this. But like like I could just make something that does this for me. But like it I wanted to see what the placement was, and it's 21,000 people. So if you want to, but then each friend you refer jumps you up 100 places. So if you have a lot of email addresses, you can make it up pretty high.
Yeah. Well, talk about a pyramid scheme, because everyone's going to keep going up and up and up. You keep getting knocked down, even if you go to the top.
Yeah.
like what you just said, right? You and I have talked before about, well, how long does it take to make a Lifter LMS website, and so we're like, you and I are both like, well, 6.5 minutes, and I could put in this and this and a template, and give it to a customer. And then obviously we kind of oversimplify that a little bit, but it doesn't take, especially with like the Cadence starter sites and the Astra starter sites, and tools like that, you can implement things really quickly. So I have yet to see what this tool actually does, or because maybe you say, maybe it's like, I'm gonna upload this PDF of my company's description and offers and services, and maybe it extracts that content and then builds pages based on that. Like that would be pretty cool. But then it comes down to the same problem that you always have when you're working with clients, and that is, yeah, I can build the tool for you, but where's your stinking content? I don't know how many times I've gone to start a project and I'll ask the client, well, what services do you offer? And they go, oh, we do this, this, and this. Okay. Do you have that written down somewhere? Do you have a description for each thing? Do you have a featured image that you want to use for each of those services? Do you have those services available in different packages, and how are they priced? And then they're like, we'll have to get back to you on that. Well, then you're like, well, I'm not touching my keyboard until I see that stuff, because I've started way too many projects and never got those answers.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that zip WP zip thing works.
Yeah, and like I think it sources images and all this kind of stuff for you. Like the website builder I saw that leveraged AI was in a demo state, but what it did is it actually created images based on your description of what your website is and does. So it would like say if it's like herbalism or something, or related to, I don't know, being an arborist, it wouldn't go find a picture of a tree. It would make up a picture of a tree. And so like you could say like, I'm like teaching you how to be an arborist, and then there's this crazy like, I don't know, blue or purple tree. It's something that the AI would have made up. That's interesting that it can like generate the images for you, generate the text, and then of course you're supposed to go in and change it. I heard like there was a story about a lawyer who used the chat tool to write up a document. They filed it with the court. It was incorrect, and so they got in trouble because, I mean, but that was like AI built you a template. It understands kind of what a legal document looks like, but it doesn't know how to follow certain rules or best practices within an industry. So you do still have to go through your website and switch the images out, and all that kind of stuff. And text.
Yeah. So if you're an attorney, you still have to be an attorney.
Right. It's almost like, I mean, AI, it almost feels like a crutch a little bit. Like even if you're walking with a crutch, you can't just like take your feet off the ground and then like move with just the crutches. You have to be pretty skilled with that.
Like the fat people on Wall-E.
Yeah, you still have to like have some kind of balance, or keep it up over there.
Oh, there we go. We got a question. Leanne Wilson, she says, on a different note, on a different subject, can you use Bunny Stream to host videos for your courses in Lifter? And I'm assuming Bunny Stream is the same as bunny.net, I think. Is Bunny Stream the same as bunny.net?
I'm not familiar with Bunny Stream or Bunny.
Well,
it looks like Bunny Stream is a subscription provider that lasts 3 years, 15,000 channels. I feel like she means bunny.net.
She says it's the same. Yeah. Oh. So not only can you host those videos in Lifter, now they don't work with advanced videos. So if you're using LifterLMS advanced videos, those features only work with YouTube, Vimeo, and Wistia. But if you're not worried about the advanced videos feature that you can get with the advanced videos add-on from LifterLMS, you can absolutely use bunny.net. And you can go one step further. You can install Presto Player in your website. And then when you integrate Presto Player and bunny.net together, then you don't have to keep going to bunny.net to load your videos up and get your codes and all that stuff. And then, to embed them into your courses and lessons, you can actually upload directly through your media bin file, and Presto Player organizes all that stuff for you. And it's just like embedding video at that point is like embedding a picture. So it works really, really, really well. It's a cool setup. And I'm a big fan of bunny.net because of its affordability. I sound like a commercial for this, Will. I don't mean to sound, I get no money for saying that. I'm not attached. And Adam is the guy that runs that Presto Player thing, right? And he's got a couple of other products that integrate well with LifterLMS. But yeah, I'm not on his affiliate program or anything like that. I just like it. Yeah. Thanks, Leanne. Leanne says, it's a good commercial. I have a few customers that I've put on that program. The reason that I put the customers on it, I have a couple of older clients that just really, they find it clumsy to go put the video somewhere else and then get the HTML code, then embed the HTML code, then try to resize things. And they didn't enjoy that experience. And so when we found the Presto Player and bunny.net combination, and we were able to integrate that and make it seem to work like right through the media player, they really like that idea, right through the media bin in the back of your WordPress website. So that worked really, really well. And then Presto Player, just so you know, my customers don't personally use this stuff because they like things that are not complicated. They really don't care about the statistics and things, but Presto Player gives you statistics and things like that on the back end as well. So you can look at different reporting for different assets that you put in your website. Bada boom, bada bing. My friend, it is 11:59.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we could wrap it up for today. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on the call. We'll be live again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, answering questions for about an hour or so. The registration link will be in the email we sent out. You can also find us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.